also mentioned in some of the interviews that I've read your passion for colour. And I believe that Louise, when she wrote her commentary about your work, talks about the lusciousness and the playfulness, and it's a bit cheeky, and colour does vary a lot throughout your works, and I guess it's culminated in all that pink in the installation room. So what would you like to tell us about how you kind of approach colour and how you like to use colour within your approach to making art?
So I guess when I was painting still life, before I ventured into this format, I was just doing actually pretty traditional still life. I was a colourist then as well, and I don't use black on my palette at all, so I tend to use colour to model form. So I'm taking my cue there from some of those early modernists, the Fauve painters perhaps, who used an arbitrary palette. So I'm really keen obviously on intense colour, and for me in these works colour is a key to the understanding of them, because colour is what first strikes you before you even engage with the content of the work. The colour feeds across the surface of the work and has become the element that provides the visual continuity in there. So the colour has its own logic in underpinning the meaning of the work. I'm keen in that way to grab the eye or seduce the eye of the viewer, allow them to enjoy the experience of the work without even needing to think about the work. They can respond to it just on the basis of the colour alone. And I guess I have a personal preference for rich colour. It's an intuitive process for me. I don't know that I'm a skilled colour theorist. I know some basic colour theory obviously, but yes. The funny thing is, with the installation next door, I found that quite a challenge, because I was restricting myself to just those two colours, and I don't normally work that way. I work with a full palette, and that became a real head scratcher. So I was sort of forced to work tonally, whereas normally I model with colour. So that was a foreign territory, and once again an unexpected challenge of doing that work that had nothing to do with the scale, but everything to do with the palette. And the other funny thing is that normally I work in oils. Occasionally I'll work in acrylic if my time frame is tight, because it dries quickly. But of course acrylic colours will dry several shades darker than you mix them. And I knew when I undertook this that the colours needed to be consistent throughout, or it wasn't going to work. So I actually mixed up my colours in quantity before I began, knowing that I could keep reaching back to those pots of paint and pulling out the dead same tone as a starting point for those paintings. So I had to come up with some sort of strategic solutions to some problems there ahead of time. But anyway, yeah, so that one doesn't have that full colour spectrum, but of course that's part of the power of it, is just that intense discord between those two colours.